All right, starting off lesson 5.3, systems of linear equations. Once again, a system just means more than one equation. And we worked with substitution before and graphing. Now we're working with the elimination method. All right, this is how simple it is. The steps are laid out here, all right, in detail if you need those. All right, but this is what's going on. I have two equations here. All right, 1, 2. Now your goal is to get the coefficients for one of the variables to be the same. All right, coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So here we have in front of the x here 3, in front of the x here 3. All right, that's great. That's one of your goals. You want both of the numbers to be the same, but they should have the opposite sign. In this case, for the x coefficients, that's not the case. All right, now let's look at the y's. Coefficient here is positive 2. Coefficient here is negative 2. That's what we want. When you have that, you have the ability to do this. You line up everything vertically, and you can cancel out the like terms. All right, and then you add everything else up. So 3x plus 3x is 6x. Then I have 4 plus negative 4 is 0. All right, so I divide by 6. I get x equals 0. All right, now if I want to figure out what y is, I simply take the x value and plug it into any equation of my choice. So I have 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 4. That's gone. I have 2y equals 4. Divide by 2, and y is equal to 2. All right, my answer is a point. It's 0, 2. All right, let's go on to another example. Okay, once again, we have to get the same coefficient. All right, so what do we do? All right, these numbers aren't the same. These numbers aren't the same. So what do? All right, well, you're going to multiply one of the equations by some number so you get a common coefficient with opposite signs. So here I have opposite signs, and I want to get a common coefficient. So I need to multiply this 3 by 2. So you can't just multiply the term by 2. You have to multiply everything by 2. So for the first equation, I end up with negative 20x plus 6y equals 2. And for the bottom equation, I have negative 5x minus 6y equals 23. Okay, now I have a common coefficient, all right, for the y variable with opposite signs. So I add up all the like terms. Those cancel out. With the x's, I get negative 25x. And the constants here, I get 25. So I divide by negative 25, and x is equal to negative 1. Okay, now I just take this value, and I can plug it into any equation to figure out what y is. So I have negative 5 times negative 1 minus 6y equals 23. So I have 5 minus 6y equals 23. Let's subtract 5. Negative 6y equals 18. Divide by negative 6, and y is equal to negative 3. Alrighty, so I end up with a point for my solution. It's negative 1, negative 3. Alright, going on to... Okay, we're working with large vans here and small vans. Alright, one scenario is location A, 5 large vans and 2 small. That adds up to 235,000. 2 large vans and 3 small vans adds up to 160,000. It's the price of each van. All right, so we'll call X the price of a large van, and Y the price of a small van. Okay. So I know based on the first scenario, 5 large, 2 small. So I have 5 large vans plus 2 small. So that's going to give me the total price then for these vans, which they tell me is 235,000. All right, then I have another scenario. I have 2 large vans, so that's the price for the 2 vans, plus 3 small vans, and that total price is 160. Okay, now since we're working with elimination, in this lesson, we'll use that tool. You could also use substitution. You could also graph. Okay, but we're using the elimination method. All right, what are we going to do? All right, well, can I multiply 5 by anything to get 2? Anything by 2 to get 5? No. Can I multiply anything by 2 to get 3? No. Anything by 3 to get 2? All right, so this could be a little tricky if you're not familiar with working with these problems. So in this case, I'm actually going to have to multiply both equations by some number. So let's see, which variable do we want to cancel out? It's your choice. I want to get the x's to cancel out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the bottom by 5, both sides. I'll multiply the top by -2. And you'll see what happens here. So I end up with negative 10x minus 4y is equal to negative 470,000. And then I have 10x plus 15y is equal to 800,000. All right, so the x's cancel out, and I get 11y is equal to 330,000. All right, divide both sides by 11 now, solve for y, and I get what? I get y is equal to 30,000. Okay, so now in order to figure out x, I simply take this y value, and I could plug it in, say, to the blue equation here. Okay, so I would end up with 2x plus 3 times 30,000 equals 160,000. I'm just using the original equation I constructed. So I get 2x plus 60,000 is equal to 160,000. Then I subtract 60,000. I get 2x is equal to 100,000. I divide by 2, and x is equal to 50,000. All right. Okay, so what's the price of the vans? Let's see, x is for the large van. So a large van costs 50,000, and a small van costs 30,000. Alrighty, done with that problem. Begin the assignment at the bottom of the web page. Make sure to ask questions if you have any.